for the AFC Challenge League quarter-final match between East Bengal FC of India and FC Arkadag of Turkmenistan. This time we have East Bengal FC head coach Oscar Bruson and player Saul Crespo. I'll begin with a question to the coach. Coach, congratulations for reaching the quarterfinals of the Challenge League. Your team is in the middle of the season. You just played 2 days ago. You've not had much time to prepare for this game, but how have the preparations been?
Thank you very much. It's a big pleasure for us, especially being historically the team with more participations in international competitions of India. So it's a proud moment for us. Carrying the responsibility of representing India at the continental stage. Yes, as you say, the team is in a good momentum, it's mature. We were going through a lot of issues in the current season, but right now, following the performance of our boys, I think that tomorrow we have a very nice game at a nice moment and hopefully with the maximum potential. So the entity of the rival we have tomorrow is big. We all know about Arkadag, that besides being a team with a foundation very recent, they are doing history in their country in the last 3 or 4 years, and I think they are ready also to make something big in the continental stage. So tomorrow is a big game. A historical Indian club, promising a new Turkmenistan club, so swords up and let's see what happens tomorrow on the pitch.
Saul, you were one of the scorers in the Super Cup final, which is why East Bengal are playing here in the AFC Challenge League. So how much of a matter of pride do you think it is to represent a club like East Bengal, which has such a rich legacy in Asia? How much pride do you take in taking that legacy forward?
We know, not only me, all the dressing room know that is so important for East Bengal and for the country, because we will represent India in Asia, and we will try to do our best and try to beat Arkadag.
We'll allow the media to ask the questions, ma'am.
Hello, coach. Yes, Shushmita from Uttar Banga Sambaad newspaper. Coach, just Turkmenistan coach said that their league just started. So that means they are very fresh. They came with the freshness, but now you are in the end of the league and so many injuries in your team. So how are you dealing with this tiredness and all the problems of injury and everything?
Right, the situation for both clubs regarding the season calendar is completely, radically different. We are in a moment that we are close to the end of the season. The advantages for us is that the team is mature, the players are having a good understanding on the pitch, we are coming from a good run of performances and results, and we don't need to think too much in adjustments, just in giving continuity to the good things that are happening on recent dates. On the other side, we can consider that they also have, as you say, fresh legs. They are at the beginning of the season, probably not suffering any injuries, probably having more recovery time, as they are coming directly from a pre-season playing important friendly games. And on our side, as you know, we had a game here just 48 hours back, and the effort of our guys was maximum, even when we had to finish the game with 10 men. So there are pros and cons on both sides, something to consider outside, but I think that the main thing is that in the moment of the kick-off tomorrow, the willing of the team that wants to do the things better is the one that is going to have the dominance and the most chances to win the game. All the talks around about the moment of the season, where we are, actually the reference that we have about them is about the AFC Cup that happened in last October, November. So even that for us is difficult. We cannot analyze their new recruitments, their new players. The reference that we have about Arkadag is back on the AFC Challenge League games that they played back in October. But they can have good references on us because in the last months we are having a hectic calendar, and probably they know all our players, our modifications, our possibilities, and what we do in each moment of the game. But I don't see it an advantage or a disadvantage. I just see that both teams are coming in a different momentum.
Hi Oscar and Dhiman, I work for the Hindustan Times newspaper. As you mentioned, Oscar, 48 hours ago you've come through a very difficult game. Now, a difficult game which you were very close to winning. This is a different tournament, I understand, but how difficult is it to forget that game and start fresh, not take any baggage from that game into this? How do you process that?
From the coach side, the excitement is maximum. Again, we are representing the club with most participations in the international stage from India. We are carrying today in our t-shirt the flag of the country. See the expectation that the game has is the day that I see more people here in the press conference. So from the coach side, I think that it's just about giving continuity to the work that we are doing. And I want to connect with the words of our captain, Saul. He just was in the same page. So when you see that your players are flagged and don't even talk about fatigue, tiredness or the game 48 hours back, just looking forward for the game of tomorrow, I think that the things are starting to be good for us.
Hi coach, this is Shauradi from One India Michael. My question is a bit contradictory. As you lost you are not now out of the ISL playoff race. Is it a blessing in disguise for East Bengal to go full-fledged into the AFC Challenge League? That's my first question. Another question is that you are playing the first leg at home, and sometimes it works in either ways. Do you see it as an advantage because we will play in front of your own supporters and can put the tie into the belt in the first leg itself? So, yeah.
Well, there is a lot of literature about what is better, to play first at home or to play the second leg. You will have a lot of contradictions, as you say, in the answers because everybody has their own feeling. On our case, what we think is that when we have the calendar done and when we have to play our first home here, we need to be optimistic, confident, and put it as an advantage for us. Probably if you ask the other coach, they prefer to play the away game at home. But for us, playing with such a physical team, in such a difficult weather, the adaptation that they need to have is huge. They are coming from completely a different country with now in the middle of the winter. So probably we want to make that an advantage. We know that probably tomorrow they are going to start 30 minutes very, very strong. But our team is looking that we can match intensity with even the stronger teams of the ISL. So we hope to cope with that, because I'm sure that if the game goes to the last stages and the battle is still on, we can capitalize on the high intensity of the final parts of the game. And the first question?
You are out of the ISL playoff. Is it a blessing for you guys that you can focus completely on this tournament?
Regarding the ISL, we did everything what we could until our last breath, as we were announcing. Even the result of yesterday of Northeast didn't help us. But as far as the things were on our side, I think that the boys has gave everything, and it's something that I need to highlight. I'm very happy that here nobody lose the faith and everybody was fighting till the last moment. Say that the most important thing of the season for us is the AFC Challenge League. Now that we don't have possibilities in the ISL, let's see what happens with the Super Cup at the last part. But right now what we know is that the Challenge League is our competition, is where we want to go through, and probably is a competition that has a dimension, is not national, is international, so the scope and the visibility and whatever that we can do good in this quarter-final can have a big impact in the name of all of us, and especially in the name of the club.
Hi coach, this is Shataborto here. As you know, I have two parts of the questions. First part is, as you are talking about getting reference from Arkada, there is a strong reference that alternative captain Ataib have joined Arkada FC.
Number 8.
And he's dominating the midfield. He was dominating the midfield in the last match. That was a strong reference. What you want to say about that? That is my first part of the question. I will ask this later.
Yeah, right. This is a reference. Altin Asir was here at the beginning of the season for us. I was not here, so of course I got all the information from our players. Altin Asir was a good team. probably they were coming, in a moment of the season that they were playing competition, and East Bengal in that moment was completely in pre-season. And the reality is that Altin Asir were looking a little bit more ahead of East Bengal in that moment. And the reality is also that Altin Asir does not match the level of Arkadak following the results of the last 3 years in the Turkmenistan League. So, but as we say, the moment is completely different, the players are different. You are mentioning a player that is one of the key players of the team. In that moment he was the number 8 of Altin Asir, and tomorrow probably he's going to be commanding the central area of the pitch. But in central areas is exactly where we are also being quite compact, quite confident, and when we are dominating the proceedings of the last games. So let's see tomorrow who can win the battle in that areas, but the game is going to be much more than that. I think that tomorrow game is not to focus in one particular area. We need to focus in all the moments of the game, in the attack, in the defense, in the transitions, in the set pieces, as they have strong players also in the set pieces. So we need to minimize mistakes. We are coming from a game that probably, as we say, one of our players lose the cool and the motion. And tomorrow, in terms of competitivity, we need to be at our best. It's not about mentioning players, positions, moments, or tactics. I think that tomorrow, competitively, we need to be at our best to be such a strong rival as the one that we have.
My second part of the question is, as you know that you can field 5 foreigners, the fans want to know, is there going to see 5 foreigners starting, and your special weapon which you are keeping reserved in Nanda Kumar, are you going to use him tomorrow?
Why we can field 5 foreigners? Why? Maybe 6, no? This competition doesn't have limitations. So, as you are watching, Clayton is recovering well in the last training sessions, and the game is 90 minutes. So we are going to optimize our resources. This competition allows an unlimited registration of foreigners. So we will see how is the game, and in the second half what we need to do. Let's see the conditions, if we are winning, if we are losing, if we need to hold more, or if we need to go all in attack. That will come when we understand what are the consequence of for example, the first half. But yes, finally we can talk that our team is not suffering injuries besides the important injury that we got in the last game with Anwar Ali.
A story of missed chances, and there were games that you could have won handsomely, which you possibly ended up losing or drawing. Even the last game was a case in point. Now, as the captain of the team, how worried are you about this? I know there is no immediate fix to this, but is this playing on your mind going into the game tomorrow?
Yeah, these are our moments, and like footballers, we know that we will have good moments and bad moments. And now we are thinking in AFC Challenger League, and we can remember in Bhutan that we scored almost all the chances, and this is our target. Anwar is an important player for us, but we are, 25 players in the squad, and a lot of players can play in the centre back. I can play in the centre back. And it's not a problem for us.
4 or 5 goals, but David Lavhan Sangha did not opportunity so many matches or so many game time, but he also scored the 4 or 3 goals. So before the AFC match, do you think Diamantakos' performance is better than David Lavhan Sangha, especially scoring ability?
Thank you for the question. It's a good one, and it's a difficult one to reply. The moments that David come into the pitch are moments that our team is desperate to score goals. Usually David comes in the last 35, 30 or 20 minutes of the games. And as we say, we understand that the moments that David is coming into the pitch is when we have to score. And he's scoring. He's been a key player for us. The games in football is not only about the players that start, but about the power that you have in the bench when you need to change the things that are happening on the pitch. And in this sense, David is a super player. He has proven all throughout the year. If you check his conversion ratio is around 100, 105, every 100, 105 minutes, David scored 1 goal. So this is one of the best ratios that you can find today in the ISL, even considering the foreigners. So David is a key player for us, young player. He's enjoying well his game time. He is understanding very well his role in the team, and of course, if he continues like that, the team will need more and more his services, and probably he will enjoy more game time. But for now, we are absolutely delighted with the performances and the results, numbers that David is giving to the team. Say that.
We'll take the last 2 questions.
No, I need to go for the second part of the question that everybody is actually waiting. Regarding Dimi, here in the last press conference, I put a strong word on Dimi because of a matter of competition. When you are winning a game 1-0, a senior player, it's difficult to have that reaction on the pitch, and all of us understood that is not the desired action that probably has cost us the game in the final stages, or at least it has cost us that we have to play there for almost 55 minutes with a 5-3-1 and doubling the energy of all our players. Say that, what I try to do is get a positive reaction of Dimi. Dimi has come to this club as one of the key players, as one of the players to make the difference, and Dimi is one of the maximum scorers in the Challenge League. So what happened in the ISL is there. We had a lot of problems. We didn't have creative players. We were rotating a lot. Dimi was having a couple of issues with minor injuries during the season, and he didn't find his best form. But I can assure you that in the last weeks, Dimi is hungry, and probably that hungriness that he comes, he converted it an emotion in the last. He couldn't control his emotion in the last game. But that is the positive part. I prefer players reacting strong than players that they don't mind what happened on the pitch, and this is exactly the personality of Diamantakos. I repeat, this is a different competition. Diamantakos, in all the groups, he's one of the maximum scorers, he's one of the maximum players. Our club has brought Dimi to make an impact not only in the domestic tournament but also in the international ones, and I hope that is Dimi the one that gives the answer tomorrow on the pitch. I don't like, as you know, I'm quite a humble guy, but the reality is that when the club that I was working in my previous participation settled an objective, the good thing is that I overcame the objectives and I did my job, and I think I have a decent record in this kind of international competitions. We qualify. I remember when I came here, nobody believed East Bengal could be in the final stages of an international tournament, especially with the beginning of the season. Since I came back 10 years, 10 years back to India, one of my dreams was playing the international competitions, and I need to thank God to have the luck or the fortune to be in 3 different countries playing these competitions. One of them is Maldives, as you say. With Maldives, we were in the last game and we couldn't qualify for the final stage. I also got references from my colleagues there of what happened in the games between Arkadak and Maldives. And as I say, I think that we try to study very, very deep in our analysis on what happened in the last 3 games. We also need to see that in the last game they were losing 3-0 in the minute 65-70, and they came back. So apart from being a strong team, they are a team with identity, with feeling, with winning, and never losing the hope, because they qualify because they could score 2 goals in the last 20 minutes of the game. Otherwise, they would not be our rivals today. So I repeat, the entity of our rival tomorrow is very serious, is huge. The entity of East Bengal is nothing less than that.
How is that playing for the match as you were?
Empiezo, ya estamos rápido.
Dale.
I think as you say, we know that this is so important for the club, and inside the dressing room we know for the club and for the country, and we will put everything tomorrow to get the semi-finals. No, semi-finals. Yes, we are ready for that.
As I said throughout the press conference, East Bengal is the team that best represents what is India, and especially Bengal, West Bengal. We all are, in this case, part of this club. We cannot think in individualities. The international competition has a lot of meanings. I think that the team is pretty united at this stage. Players, management, fans. We just hope to receive tomorrow numbers. We hope that tomorrow we have a party of football. As we know, the season was not easy, but we want every single fan of East Bengal to be here tomorrow cheering for the team and being proud that our club is representing the Indian flag in the international stages. So the task is huge, but don't doubt that we are going to be up to the mark on the pitch, and we are going to try to make everybody happy and joyful, getting the best possible result.